Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Radhika Kelkar. I'm a psychiatrist practicing in Maharashtra. Welcome to this channel. On this channel I post videos about children and psychiatry. So in continuity with the previous videos, this video is also about Erik Erikson's theory of development, and in this part we'll be discussing about fourth stage of his theory. So basically, as I mentioned in the previous videos, Erik Erikson gave this theory in which he says that a person passes through various stages in life, and the completion of various stages leads in his growth, and during the whole process he acquires some virtues in his personality and maybe sometimes defects also. But it's not like the defects are permanent, they can be changed also, that is what he says. So at each point there comes a crisis, and there a person is expected to learn a skill, and if he learns that skill, if he goes through it and if he passes through it, that leads to something he feels comfortable while leading his life. He acquires some virtues, he acquires some good traits in his personality, and if there is an unsuccessful attempt at it, that will lead to formation of a personality defect. The fourth stage is known as industry versus inferiority. That is industry. The word industry in this theory means that being productive in life, having a productive approach towards life. So this stage, that which lasts from 5 years to 11 years, decides that whether later on in life you will have a productive course or you will face some inferiority while working, while going about things, while dealing with life issues. So that is what happens in this stage, and how it happens, why it happens, and how things go about in this stage is what we are going to discuss in the next part of the video. So this stage is from 5 years to 11 years. So when the child reaches 5 years of age, his environment changes, the persons that he interacts with changes. Basically, school is added to his environment, and the basic interaction that he has is with his parents, with his relatives, and with school basically. So he's interacting with other kids of his same age and also with teachers. So they form the primary environment of a child in this age group, and they have a lot of influence upon what is happening with the child, and the friendships and relationships with friends and peers is responsible for whatever the child is facing at that particular time. So as this is happening, as the environment expands to include all these people in his life, what happens is that he takes pride, or he starts feeling proud about things that he's accomplishing in daily life. Like he's going to school, he's giving a test maybe, or he's giving a small exam, or he's playing, or he's playing a sport. So whatever activities he is doing, and if he's acquiring any special ability to get through that sport or to get through that work at that particular time, that gives him a sense of accomplishment, and it gives a sense of competence that I can do something, and he feels proud about it, that I could do this, and I could maybe do it better than other people with me who are giving the test or who are doing that particular thing. So there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of sense of accomplishment if the child is able to do whatever he is supposed to do at school or at home. So when he acquires this expertise, for example, if he's better than the other kids at some sport, that will form a sense of self-concept, and he'll start feeling capable, that he is capable of doing things, and he can do things. That is what basically the idea is in this stage. So he discovers that there is so much pleasure that if you acquire something, if you accomplish something, that sense of pleasure, that sense of achievement leads to development of a feeling of productivity, that I can do something in life by learning new things and taking pride in it. Also, sometimes it so happens that the child may discover that he is not that good compared to other kids, and that gives him a sense of inadequacy and if it is repeated many times, and if there are other factors playing in also, that can lead to feelings of inadequacy. So basically school work helps you build confidence and competence in yourself. And contrary to the previous stages where children were largely going to school just for the fun of it or just to enjoy, in this stage school plays a big role, and school is a place where they receive praise and attention, and if they do things correctly, if they do things rightly. So that is a major difference that is happening in your child's life. So during school and other social activities, when they receive praise and attention from other adults for whatever they are doing, something maybe an activity like drawing or painting or reading or writing, they feel good about themselves and their ability to do those things. And at the same time, children who are not able to do these things properly, we have many kids who are academically facing problems and who face problems due to XYZ reasons. So when we talk about such kids who are struggling in some area at school, and on top of it they are getting criticism as well for these things, they are not getting praise anywhere because nobody is there to praise them. They are failing at things, and then people are just trying to push them, trying to criticize them at times, just trying to say something to them that is not really giving confidence to them. So if these things are continuously happening, then that can lead to a feeling of inadequacy. That is what this stage says. So basically, children who are praised by or encouraged by teachers or their family members will have this sense of competence, will have this sense of productivity in life. And those who are not given that much encouragement, those who are not receiving that encouragement from parents, teachers, they will not be able to successfully complete this stage. So basically, children who are struggling can develop a sense of inadequacy, a sense of failure, a sense of inferiority, and this can affect later on also. This can affect their later life, and it can be a cause of later problems. That people who do not feel competent and do not feel that they have the ability to succeed, they might even not try out things. Like they already have that conversation in their mind that I am not good enough, I'll not be able to do it. And that is the reason they might not even try up new things. So how can parents or teachers foster to the child's development in this stage is what we need to talk about. So as we spoke about in the previous part, that it is important for parents and teachers to offer support and encouragement, and also the adults should be careful that they are not equating their love to the child's achievement. Like the child should not get a feeling that if my parents or my teachers will love me only if I am achieving something. That should not happen. There should be unconditional love that is coming up from adults, the unconditional love and support in spite of how the child is performing academically or how the child is achieving things. So that is one very important thing, that love should not be equated to achievement. Love should be there all the time, and piece of encouragement or piece of an advice should accompany for the progress that he is making in life. So also on the contrary, children who are overpraised or who are just very much overpraised, they might develop a sense of arrogance that I am just too good, or I am just unbeatable. So that also should be avoided. There should be a balance between both the things. There should be a balance of how you're talking to your children. So for example, if a child is struggling, there should be encouragement, and there should be a sense of love and acceptance to that issues as well. So we'll take an example to understand this situation just in a better way. So imagine two kids who are in a similar grade, maybe 4th standard, and a girl and a boy. So the girl is finding things difficult, she's finding her studies difficult, but her parents are willing to help her out. They sit with her, they help her in her work, and she also is encouraged to ask the teacher for support, and she gets that support also from the teacher, and eventually she gets through. But at the same time, the boy that we are talking about, he is also facing problems, but his parents are not that supportive. They are very maybe not interested in helping him out in his work, and he's just on his own at some times. Even teachers are not that helpful because he is not upfront for asking for help. So basically this keeps on happening, and then finally he loses interest. He gives up even trying. He stops trying also, and then the academic downfall just worsens, and then he's not able to cope. So both these children basically had the same problem, but due to the attitude of people around him, his parents and teachers, things are different with both of them. So we have to realize that that encouragement is essential, that love and acceptance is essential in this stage, in spite of the child is achieving or not. Because even if he's not achieving, with support and love, he'll get that energy to do things differently. So also Erikson says that also it is important to note that Erikson says that this is socially the most decisive stage. That is, if a person completes this stage properly, he will be able to work properly in the later years of his life. That is, our ability to work is dependent on how we do in this stage, and what feelings that we develop about ourselves, that are we productive enough or are we inferior. So depending upon that, we will work in later on life, and being industrious involves doing things and working along with others. So all these traits that help us get through life have a source at maybe 5, 6, 7 years of age. That is 5 years of age, 6 years of age, 7 years of age. So it is so important to support children during this phase of their life, because that will decide how they perform later on in life. Sometimes when a child's attempts are thwarted too much, they will start feeling that they cannot accomplish things, and they'll develop this sense of inferiority, and they'll not be able to work properly later on in life. And also sometimes in the contrary, it so happens that they just try to compensate this feeling of inferiority by running too much towards power or money. They feel that I have to earn a lot of money, I have to work a lot to suppress this feeling of inferiority, and it just takes they take a different approach to life, and they just keep on working without giving too much importance to intimacy in life, to relationships in life. So all these problems can happen if this stage is not dealt in with properly, and if a person gets stuck, and if a person develops inferiority about himself. So that was about the 4th stage of Erik Erikson's theory. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do like, share and subscribe if you like the content. Thank you.